What's up guys, Preston here from Satu. Today I'm here to show you an awesome Malaysia import. This is something we don't get into often. It's pretty darn rare, once, maybe twice a year if we're lucky. And one of the stars of the show are gonna be Malaysian mangrove snakes. Now these guys can get up to 8 feet long and they're rear fang venomous. So you don't wanna get bit by them. They seem pretty calm and mellow. I've worked with tons of these guys, so I relatively know how to handle them. So a very awesome snake, and like I said, we only get these once, maybe twice a year. Next up, we have a Sulawesi mangrove snake. Now these guys are also rear fang venomous, only reaching lengths of about 6 foot, so this is pretty much an adult here. He doesn't seem huge, but he is about 6 foot. And the cool thing is they don't look like this when they're born. Here we have a baby Sulawesi mangrove snake, and we see that color change I was talking about. You go from a nice yellow on the head, getting to a warm orange, and then even some reds along the tail. And these guys, over the next 2 to 3 years, will completely turn black. How cool is that? On next, we have a black-headed cat snake. So these guys are arboreal, living in the trees their whole life, and they're rear fang venomous too. And their venom is not a game for a rear fang venomous snake. On to the next, we have a dog-toothed cat snake. These guys are quite impressive, reaching lengths of up to 9 feet long, and they stay super slender, just like this. Now, if you see here, they do have a little bit of stuck shed on them. So with a fresh import like this, we make sure to get these guys very hydrated, we give them a soak, and then we get them into a proper setup. Here we have an Axanthic mangrove snake. Did I say that right? All right, guys, here we have an Axanthic mangrove snake. So just like the first snake we showed you, the black and yellow, the Axanthic is gonna take out the pigmentation. So this takes out the yellow in them and just keeps them black and white. And these guys are quite feisty. I was saying that the first time, our mangrove snake wasn't woken up. This guy is up right now. He's giving me a little bit of troubles, and you don't wanna get bit by one. So these are a beast. We only got a couple of these in. I mean, look at this guy. Wow. All right, guys, these are probably one of the coolest and rarest lizards you'll ever see. Excuse me if I butcher their scientific name, but Ganocephalus doria. These are Doria Anglehead lizards, or Dorian Anglehead lizards, and you don't see these at all. This is the second time we've ever had these in the country, and we see their bright emerald green, and the females with this deep orange toward the end of the tail, growing up to lengths of 20 inches. These guys are strictly insectivores, and let me tell you, they go very fast. We only have 3 pairs of these guys, but on to the next is another Anglehead lizard. Here we have a Bell's Anglehead lizard. These guys are probably one of the most prehistoric lizards you'll ever see, and the coolest thing is that they're super chill. I mean, these guys actually make great pets. They don't have crazy, ridiculous requirements that they need. They need it hot and humid, pretty much like any Malaysian lizard. Just a stunning lizard, a little dinosaur, and they make an awesome addition to any collection. All right, guys, here we have a paradise flying snake, and these are one of the coolest snakes you'll ever see. And a lot of us as little kids, we saw these on National Geographic or on Animal Planet, and you see the snakes that jump from tree to tree, and they spread their body and flatten out, and they just glide. Well, this is them. And these guys actually are rear fang venomous. You see, they're pretty wiry, pretty whippy. So if you guys ever get one of these, just know their primary diet's gonna be lizards. It's mandatory. And these guys are also a big female, can get lengths of upwards of 5 foot, which is pretty crazy to be moving that fast. Here we have a great Anglehead lizard, being one of the largest from their family, growing lengths over 2 feet long if it's an adult male. They also have this stunning belly with yellow polka dots and a dark deep blue the whole way, and their tail even gets a nice bright blue. One of the coolest lizards we get in here. All right, here we have the Malaysian cat-eye geckos, a very cool species of gecko coming out of Malaysia. These guys, they can be very different looking, as we see him just make a little hop like that. On top of all that, as we see this guy making a jump for it, they have very interesting nails for a gecko. So we'll take a look right here. These guys have very sharp nails. They are excellent climbers, being strictly nocturnal and semi-arboreal in the wild, which is super cool for a gecko species. Here we have flying geckos, guys, and these are one of the neatest lizards I've ever worked with. First, for starters, we're gonna look at their hands. You see these giant webbed feet going from toenail to toenail with no exception. And that's for helping stick on the wood and also, like their name suggests, flying or gliding. They also have pads on their stomach that seem to flatten out. I can pretty much just pinch and pull it very gently, and so they flatten their whole bodies out and can get away from predators. Their tails are even extremely flat. So one of the coolest lizards, little tiny guys. They glide, they jump, they're quick. You gotta love it. All right, here we have a red-tailed green rat snake. These guys are spicy. One of the most stunning arboreal snakes you'll ever see. I mean, you got this bright green. They have one of the coolest tongue flicks too out of any snake. They have a very slow, methodical tongue flick. All right, guys, we've been saving the best for last. These are temple vipers, one of the coolest species that we get in our imports. And here I have a male. And the coolest thing about them is they're extremely sexually dimorphic. And that means that females and males don't get the same size. Males are going to be much smaller, a slightly duller green, and have stripes going down their body. Females, on the other hand, are much larger. Here we have the female temple viper. These guys are venomous, hence the viper in their name. Just like the other male, you do not want to get bit by either of these guys. So I will not be free handling any of them. I don't recommend anyone to free handle. It's super important. I want to keep all my fingers. The first thing we'll really notice is going to be the pattern and the color. So it's completely different. The males have some oranges going through there. Females will virtually not have that at all. And the size. This is a young female. Females can get up to 3 feet long. With all this being said, guys, all these animals, they go quickly. With it being a once or twice a year import, make sure you head to our website, see what you got to see, check out, and have an awesome new pet.